Hey everyone, welcome back. Let's just dive right in today, okay? We're tackling something that I think we can all relate to, right? Online ads. Specifically, the ones that make you wonder if anyone's even paying attention to what you actually do online.
Yeah, it's funny. It really is a weird paradox when you think about it. Like, we're practically swimming in data these days, right? But we're still stuck with all these ads that seem so off base.
Right, totally. And the article we're looking at today, it actually starts with this tweet that I thought was perfect. It says, just saw an ad for a baby stroller. I'm a single guy obsessed with vintage motorcycles. Come in,
Right.
algorithms.
I mean, it's funny, but also, like, it makes you think.
It really does. It just shows you how big the gap is,
Yeah,
between what the data could be doing and then how it's actually being used in advertising.
for sure. So this article, it actually suggests that AI could be the answer here, right? Like, AI could swoop in and save us from this whole digital advertising mess. So I want to get your take on this. Do you think AI can really pull this off? Is this realistic? Well, I mean, technologically speaking, yeah, I think it's definitely possible. The data is already there, right? I mean, think about just how much information these companies are gathering on all of us, on everything we do online. And AI, that's what it's good at. Finding patterns in data, making predictions, and that's what you need for good ad matching, right?
Okay, but like just having data, that doesn't magically make things better,
Hmm.
right? So how do we even measure if AI is actually making these ads better? Like what's the metric here?
Well, the interesting thing about advertising, at least in this context, is that success is actually pretty measurable, right? You have engagement rates, you can track click-throughs, conversions, all of that is quantifiable. So I think unlike some other areas where AI is being used and the goals are kind of fuzzy, advertising gives us really concrete ways to track whether an AI system is working or not.
I see what you mean. But do those metrics always match up with like a good experience for the user? Because I mean, I've definitely clicked on ads that I didn't actually like.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And that's a really important point. The way it works now, a lot of these platforms, they just care about clicks and impressions more than anything. It's all about quantity, not quality. And that's where AI could be really transformative, I think. Like, if we can figure out how to use AI to align those metrics with an actual improvement in how users experience these ads.
So you're saying instead of just making ads a little less annoying,
hmm
this article is imagining a world where they're actually useful, maybe even, dare I say it, enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, think about it. We're talking about going beyond just basic targeting, right? It's like, what if AI could look at your online behavior in real time and actually understand what you need at that exact moment?
So like instead of showing me a million ads for every car out there just because I Googled best family sedans, AI could figure out that I'm really just researching right now
Mm-hmm.
and maybe show me like comparisons or reviews instead.
Right, exactly. So that's one part of what they're calling intelligent advertising in the article. It's about understanding not just what you're doing, but why you're doing it online.
And this is where it starts to get really interesting to me because the article actually says that AI could even learn from how we react to ads, even the negative stuff. Is that even possible? Like, could AI tell that I'm totally annoyed and like slamming my cursor over to click the close ad button and then never show me that kind of ad again?
Yeah, that's definitely something that researchers are actively working on. It makes sense, though. The idea is that AI could learn to spot these patterns in how people behave online. Little hints that someone's frustrated. It could be closing an ad really fast or just scrolling past it super quickly or even just hovering over that close button for a while. Like, in theory, AI could pick up on those cues and then actually change how it shows you ads because of it.
Okay, see, now that almost sounds too good to be true. Imagine if the internet actually got better, the ads evolved based on what annoys us. What else does the article say about this whole intelligent advertising idea?
So it gets even wilder. They're basically saying that AI could get so good, so precise, that it could figure out what you need even better than you can. Like, imagine if it could go beyond just knowing you're into photography, but it actually understands what kind of photographer you are, your skill level, the equipment you use, even the specific problems you're having with your photos. That's a completely different level of, like, I don't know, personalization, right?
So we're basically talking about like hyper-personalized ads,
Right.
ads that know exactly what we need, maybe even before we do. But if this is even possible, then why am I still getting all these ads for like baby strollers? I mean, come on.
Right. I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? It's like, what's the holdup? And the article actually, it talks about a few roadblocks here. One of the big ones is that, and we talked about this a little before, but it's how incentives are set up, right? Like right now, a lot of these platforms, they're just laser focused on getting those clicks and impressions, even if it means the user experience kind of sucks, you know?
Because at the end of the day, more clicks equals more money, at least in the short term. But what this article is saying is that maybe, in the long run, that kind of thinking might actually be shooting themselves in the foot, right?
Exactly. What if instead of a ton of irrelevant ads, these platforms, what if they just showed you a few, but they were really good, really relevant ads? They might actually make more money in the long run, you know? Because people would actually trust the ads more. They might even be more likely to click on them. It's about taking that long view, but that means everybody has to kind of shift their thinking, which is hard.
So it's not really about the technology. Not just that. It's about how people are using it, and maybe even more importantly, like, what are they actually trying to get out of it? And we've been talking about these platforms.
Mhm.
What about the advertisers, right? Like the companies making the ads, are they ready to jump into this intelligent advertising world?
Yeah, and that's a whole other piece of this puzzle, isn't it? I mean, these advertisers, they have to be on board too, right? They have to be willing to move away from just blasting everyone with the same ads and actually trust that if they use AI, if they target their ads better, that they'll get better results. It's like quality over quantity, but that might mean they have to rethink everything about how they run their campaigns, you know?
It's almost like, I don't know, maybe we've just gotten so used to being bombarded with all these bad ads.
Yeah.
We've just forgotten that it could be different. It's like that old saying, right? If you're not paying for the product, you are the product. Have we just kind of given up, become okay with being the product in this whole data exchange?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thought, right? We're so used to all this noise online, all these ads, that maybe we can't even imagine what it would be like to have ads that were actually helpful, ads that didn't make you want to just shut off your computer, you know? But the internet changes so fast, right? Like the way we experience it, it's always evolving.
Hmm. It does feel like we're at some kind of turning point, though. Like these advertisers, these platforms, they have to be willing to change to put the user first. But then we have to demand better too, right? We have to be open to this idea that maybe, just maybe, ads don't have to suck.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it has to be both, right? It's like this collective effort. We all have to agree that there's a better way to do this, a way that actually works for everybody.
So where do we even go from here? Like, is there any hope for us? Can we actually have, a better internet, one where ads aren't constantly in our faces, you know? Or are we just stuck with this forever?
Well, the article, it actually ends on a pretty hopeful note, believe it or not. They basically say that we, the users, we're not totally powerless here. We can actually do things to make things better.
Okay, now you got my attention.
Hmm?
What can we actually do besides, like, just giving in and accepting that this is how the internet is now?
Well, first of all, we can actually speak up about it, you know? Like, don't just put up with bad ads. Tell these platforms, tell the advertisers what's not working, leave feedback, write reviews, talk about this stuff online. The more we make our voices heard, the more these companies will have to pay attention and maybe, hopefully, actually do something about it.
I'll be honest, I've definitely been guilty of just ignoring those little feedback forms. But you're saying that stuff actually matters.
Yeah,
Like our complaints, even our compliments, it all kind of goes into this whole AI learning thing.
totally. The feedback we give, it's like data, right? It's stuff these algorithms can actually learn from. And it's not just about complaining either. Like we can choose to use the platform, support the brands that are doing things right, the ones that are upfront about how they use our data, the ones that actually seem to care about making ads better.
Right. It's like voting with our clicks, with our wallets. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about people who, I don't know, they get kind of creeped out by this whole thing, this idea that everything they do online is being tracked and analyzed, even if it is to show them supposedly better ads.
Oh, for sure. And that's totally understandable. And it actually brings up something else that's really important in all of this. Transparency and control. Like we should know how our data is being used, and we should be able to tell these platforms what kind of ads we're okay with seeing. It's about finding that balance, right? Between getting personalized stuff, but still having our privacy respected.
I feel like what we're talking about now, it goes way beyond just the tech stuff. This is about like ethics, transparency, the future of how we use the internet, like the big picture.
Exactly. AI, it has the potential to either make this whole advertising problem way worse, or it could be the thing that actually fixes it. It really all comes down to how we decide to use it.
This has been, wow, this has been a really interesting conversation. And it seems like if there's one takeaway here, it's that the future of advertising, it's totally tied to AI now. And we, as users, we actually have a lot more say in that future than we might think. So next time you see an ad, whether it's like amazingly spot on or just totally makes you scratch your head, remember your feedback, what you click on, even just what you say online, it all matters. You're basically training these algorithms,
Yep.
You're shaping the internet one click at a time. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone. And until next time.